commissioners. Note the presence of all three commissioners, and I'm going to ask Mr. Scott France to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'll begin with a few opening comments. First on COVID-19. We do continue to see a high number of COVID-19 cases in our community, but the vast majority of these cases are occurring in unvaccinated individuals. Our current 7-day average of cases is 143, and our positivity has increased slightly this week to 5.49%. So we're kind of plateauing around this, 140 some, 135, 145 or so a day. We continue to see more of our residents get vaccinated, which is very encouraging. Overall, we now have 84.33% of eligible Montgomery County residents, and that means those that are age 12 and up, that have received at least one dose of the vaccine. And we do believe that the majority of those folks are fully vaccinated. So 84.33. So we're very, very proud of that. Thank everybody who has helped us to get there. I'm also happy to report today that 87% of Montgomery County employees are fully vaccinated as of this week. And we want to thank you for that, and thank you for reporting and sharing that information. And we continue to urge everyone who's eligible to get vaccinated. Our Office of Public Health is on standby and ready to administer the vaccination to children ages 5 to 11 when it is approved, which we hope will happen at the end of the month. Our vaccine clinics are currently offering third shots to immunocompromised individuals and are scheduling appointments for the Pfizer booster. Yesterday, the Food and Drug Administration made a number of announcements around boosters. First, anyone who received the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is eligible for a booster as long as 2 months have passed since the initial dose. And that if you did receive the J&J vaccine, you can use another J&J or a Pfizer or a Moderna vaccine for that booster. The only restriction for J&J is that you have to have had 2 months pass since the first dose. There are no age restrictions or medical condition requirements. The Moderna booster is now available at a half dose from the original booster if at least 6 months have passed after the second dose of Moderna. And for Moderna, that is approved for 65 and older, anyone younger than 65 with an at-risk medical condition, or a potential occupational exposure. So, also, as was true for J&J, if you got Moderna the first time and you want to have a different vaccine for your booster, that is allowed as well. There is one more meeting that has to happen today, but it is anticipated that will be continue to be supported and approved. If that is the case, then we should be able to start offering these boosters on Monday at our vaccination clinics. We do have the vaccine, and we have to do some tweaking to our appointment portals and things like that. But we hope that on Monday, or maybe at the latest Tuesday or Wednesday, we would be able to offer those booster vaccines to anyone who would like it. All 4 of our vaccination clinics are open 5 days a week with varying hours to make it as convenient as possible for you to stop in and get vaccinated. All of our COVID-19 clinics are now offering flu shots as well at all locations. And this is important, you can get your flu shot and a COVID-19 vaccine at the same time. There does not need to be any kind of waiting period in between those 2 vaccines. And in fact, we encourage you to also get a flu shot. We are offering all 3 vaccinations, Moderna, Pfizer, and Johnson & Johnson, at our county-run sites. And then finally, I want to remind everyone that we continue to offer no cost, no prescription needed, no symptoms needed COVID-19 testing at our sites across the county. Due to demand, a 5th testing site is now open in Green Lane. to serve residents more conveniently in the western part of the county. Again, thank you to everyone who has done their part by getting vaccinated. It is the best way to protect you and your family and our community and to get us through this thing once and for all as quickly as possible. Now, moving on to the impact of Hurricane Ida, which is still very, very much with us here in the county. I know it's out of the news at this point, but we are still actively working on the response to this disaster. The county continues to provide support to those who have been displaced by Ida. As of this week, there are 169 households totaling 392 people staying in 181 hotel rooms that are being paid for by the county while they await further aid. The county has supported a total of 208 households totaling 436 people with temporary hotel assistance since the start of the disaster. We encourage anyone with any unmet needs to call 211, just dial 211, or visit our website at montco.org/IDA for more information and to complete a needs assessment so that we can do everything we can to get you the assistance that you need. Our Disaster Recovery Center, or DRC, it's actually, technically it's FEMA's Disaster Recovery Center, or DRC, remains open Monday through Saturday to assist residents with the disaster recovery process. The FEMA DRC is located at the Bluebell campus of the Montgomery County Community College in the Health Sciences Center gym. Recovery specialists from FEMA and the Small Business Administration are available to assist homeowners, renters, and business owners in applying for federal aid and answer any questions that you have. Of course, you can also start this process online or by phone, so you should do whatever is most convenient for you. I'm also pleased to report that we have worked closely with FEMA and the SBA to launch mobile disaster recovery centers throughout the county. These mobile operations are going directly to the communities that have been hit the hardest to reach residents where they are. The mobile DRCs offer individual families and business owners help in applying for the federal assistance and information about the types of assistance available. The mobile DRCs also can provide information about the appeals process and provide updates on submitted aid applications. Currently, there are 2 mobile DRC locations in operation this week. Today, the mobile DRC will be in operation at the Montgomery County Intermediate Unit at 2 West Lafayette Street in Norristown from noon to 7. Tomorrow and Saturday, the mobile DRC will be located at the Hyatt Place, King of Prussia, located at 440 American Avenue in King of Prussia. It will open Friday from noon to 7 and Saturday, October 23rd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Additional mobile DRC locations are being announced each week. Notifications will be sent out to anyone who's subscribed to our text alerts and will also be posted on our social media channels and the IDA website, which again is montcopa.org/IDA. Now, I just want to mention a few upcoming deadlines. The Small Business Administration application deadline is Tuesday, November the 9th, and the FEMA application deadline is Wednesday, November the 10th. So far, more than 4,700 Montco residents have applied for aid through FEMA, and each day more funds are being distributed through individual assistance. On October the 8th, FEMA announced that public assistance funding has been made available to Montgomery, Bucks, and Chester counties to augment state and local recovery efforts in the areas struck by Hurricane Ida. We will be able to use this funding to reimburse our costs related to debris removal, roads and bridges repairs, and getting our parks and trails back to normal. I want to thank everyone still engaged in our recovery efforts. We have nonprofit organizations across the county that are working to raise funds and distribute them. We have all kinds of neighbors helping neighbors. Our community has really pulled together to help counter this devastating damage and I want to thank everyone who's been engaged in that effort. Remember that if you are able to make a monetary donation or a goods donation, we have mechanisms for you to do that, and that information can all be found at that montcopa.org/IDA website. Thank you very much. That's all I've got, and turn over to Commissioner Lawrence.
Okay, thank you. I have two announcements this morning. This is our final commissioners meeting before the 2021 general election, so it's my final time to remind everyone that we have a general election coming up on Tuesday, November 2nd. And in this important election, voters will be selecting local officials such as county and city officials, including supervisors, commissioners, council members, mayors, and tax collectors, statewide judges and local judges and ministerial district judges, school boards, and polling place election officials and constables. Voters will have three options to cast their ballot. You can vote in person on November 2nd. You can vote by absentee ballot, or you can vote by mail-in ballot. The deadline to request a mail-in or absentee ballot for the November 2nd election is October 26th at 5 p.m. Postmarks do not apply there. They must be in by 5 p.m. And the deadline to register to vote for this election has already passed, but you can register to vote for future elections. If you're not sure if you applied to vote by mail or applied and now want to vote in person, check the absentee and mail-in voting section of the Voter Services website to find answers to your questions. There are 11 secure drop boxes that have been installed throughout the county to help voters meet the November 2nd deadline. A full list and interactive map is available on the Voter Services website. These drop boxes will be available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week until November 2nd at 8 p.m. when the polls close. If you are voting by absentee ballot or mail, please make sure you fill out the ballot correctly and place it sealed in the privacy envelope before placing it in the postage paid mailing envelope, which requires your signature. No stamps are needed. Polling locations have been finalized and are posted on the voters' website. We've sent letters to anyone whose polling location has changed and encourage everyone to check their polling location ahead of the election. Satellite offices will be open this weekend as they were in the primary election in the same locations in Lansdale, Lower Merion, Pottstown, and Willow Grove. And they will be open October 23rd and 24th. You can visit the website to get the hours for that. And voters can also visit Voter Services on the 6th floor of 1 Montgomery Plaza, Monday through Friday during business hours. Polling locations will continue to follow Montgomery County COVID-19 public safety protocols during the election, such as social distancing, enhanced sanitation, and poll workers wearing masks. We encourage all residents who wish to cast a ballot in person to follow the posted rules of the polling locations regarding masking. The Voter Services website is a great source for all the information I've mentioned, including registering to vote, voting instructions, and if you're interested in working as a poll worker in upcoming elections. So you can please visit www.montcopa.org/voter-services for more information. And now I'd like to give an update on the Montco Strong 2021 Nonprofit Resiliency Grant Program. The Board of Commissioners announced in July our approval of $5 million to be allocated for the Montco Strong 2021 Nonprofit Resiliency Grant Program. The application process closed on August 10th. This funding is to be used to help nonprofit agencies who suffered disruptions and financial losses due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Nonprofit organizations that provide help with food, healthcare, housing, childcare, mental health resources, elder care, and more are critical to the restoration of our communities as we move towards more normalcy. There were several differences to note from previous Montco Strong nonprofit grant programs administered in 2020. And these are the types of organizations that were eligible, the eligible use of funds, and the amount of grant dollars an organization could apply for all changed. Entities awarded a grant need to use the funds for operational expenses paid between January 1st, 2021 through October 31st, 2021. Grant amounts were determined by the criteria provided in the program guidelines and included some of the following considerations: organizations directly involved with the COVID-19 response, organizations not previously eligible under last year's nonprofit program, organizations doing proven work in underserved parts of the county, and organizations eligible under the program guidelines who completed an application in a satisfactory manner for the review committee. All applications were reviewed by a multidisciplinary team, and awards are being administered by the Redevelopment Authority of Montgomery County. So here's a summary. 298 applications were received and 225 grants were awarded. $5 million was initially authorized for the program, as I mentioned, but funding was increased by the Board of Commissioners to fund in full or in part all the recommendations of the review committee. And since April 2020, Montgomery County has awarded over a total of $42 million in funding to small businesses and nonprofits through the Montco Strong Grant Program. And this is $31.2 million to small businesses and $11.3 million to nonprofits. A full list of the award recipients is available on the Commerce Department's website at www.montcopa.org/commerce.
Great, thank you. Okay. All right, then we will move on to public comments on matters appearing on the agenda.
Again, if you would like to make public comment via Zoom, you can use the raise your hand feature. We don't have anyone here, correct? Doesn't look like we have anyone who would like to provide public comment today.
Okay, and then any general public comment?
Doesn't look like.
Okay, all right, then we will move on. Next, approval of the minutes. I will move to approve the October 7th, 2021 minutes of the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Lawrence. Any board comment? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Are there any negative votes? Hearing none, the minutes are approved. All right, next we're going to hear from our District Attorney, Kevin Steele, on our latest or next drug take-back day. Good morning.
Thank you. So I think you're all aware that our law enforcement community here in Montgomery County has really focused on preservation of life. Unfortunately, we are still facing a crisis of overdoses. And last year, we unfortunately had more overdoses than we've had in the past, and 258 people lost their lives. So we are strategically prioritizing things to try to address this. And I'm here to talk about what we're doing on Saturday with all our partners, and I appreciate the time that you are giving me here to hopefully publicize this even more and ask for more partnerships in this. We have taken upon it each fall and each spring to try to put something out to get people focused on this issue and focused on getting medicine and things that have been overprescribed out of their medicine cabinets, because we have found that is really essential to the preservation of life. And I say that because we find so often that people start down a track that ends up in an overdose by getting involved with prescription pills. So we want to get them out of the medicine cabinets, and we don't want people to flush them down their toilets or send them to the landfill because of the impact that has on water and our environment. So we will safely dispose of this. We have a federally licensed facility that will destroy this and destroy it in an environmentally sound way. So Saturday, I think there's 40 locations across Montgomery County. This is the poster that we have sent out. We're putting it in police departments. We're putting in lots of different locations and encouraging people to come in and get rid of their medicines. And we're trying to make it as easy as we can on people. It's not just at police departments. We have a couple Wegmans, a Giant, that are also participating in this with the police presence at those locations. So I also need to note that if anybody is thinking about doing anything wrong, there are police that are covering all of these locations to make sure that everything goes smoothly and the drugs get to where they need to be destroyed. So these locations are on the website. Kelly, you showed me how to do this. All right, I'm good. All right, so, and this is what you're going to see all over the county, is just locations that are there and ready to take the medicines, and we really appreciate everybody that takes part in this and encourages their friends and neighbors to do it, because we are certain that it has saved lives. And I just want to finish with a little bit of the impact on this and the numbers. Because I really think it's significant when we look at the big picture on this. And quite frankly, that things could be a lot worse if we weren't doing things like this. So our last take back in April, 7,252 pounds. Since we started this in 2010, over 92,000 pounds. It's a really big number. We fill up box trucks at these locations. So certainly there have been medicines that have been overprescribed in these locations, and certainly people are recognizing that they need to get them out of their medicine cabinets. So we're hopeful with everybody's help on this that this will put us over the 100,000 pound mark, and that would be a significant accomplishment. And again, I am certain that if we keep going in this direction, we're going to get things going in the right direction, which means less lives that are taken by overdoses. So. Encourage everybody to come out. I'm happy to answer any questions that anybody may have on it.
Well, thank you, District Attorney Steele. This is an amazing program that has consistently just been so helpful in our communities, and I couldn't agree with you more that this is a prevention strategy, right? Let's just get this stuff out of the houses so that people don't start taking it in the first place. Just a couple points of clarification for the public. The police are there simply to make sure that no one tries to take any medications out of the box.
Correct.
The police will not ask to see what anyone is bringing. No person will be questioned in any way, right? The police are just simply there to make sure that no one tries to steal anything out of the box.
Correct. They're transporting for us. This is them trying to help out in the communities. If people are concerned about what's on the prescription bottle, just take a Sharpie and get rid of the name, or pour them into a bag, or do something along those lines. So people shouldn't have any concerns. Nothing is being looked at in that way.
Nobody has to show ID or anything like that, right?
None of that. And we hope too that we don't take liquids or needles. So please don't bring those type of things. But basically any other medication, whether it's over the counter or prescription drugs, and we're focused on the prescription end. But we'll take it all and we'll get rid of it safely, which I think is one of the key elements to this. And I should note also, we really push on this day to do this, but this goes on every single day and can be done 24 hours a day at all of the police departments across Montgomery County. There is boxes that people can walk into the lobbies of the police departments and put them in. If they're coming to the courthouse, we have a lot of jurors coming in for jury duty. You want a one-stop shop, We have the boxes here. They're at some of the hospitals and some of the different locations. So there's a lot of ways to accomplish this. It doesn't just have to happen today, but we're really or Saturday, but we hope that people will engage in this and make a difference in their own homes and communities with this.
And then I just want to take this opportunity to add that if anyone is concerned about a friend or family member who may be using opioids, Narcan, which is the medication that can reverse an opioid overdose, is still readily available without a prescription at most pharmacies in Montgomery County. There are standing orders that allow you to just go up to the pharmacist and ask for Narcan, and it can be dispensed without having to call a doctor. So just want to remind folks that that is still readily available and can absolutely save somebody's life.
Yeah, there's not a day that's going by that lives aren't being saved with it. So it's really important that anybody has that accessible to them. So
Exactly. Yeah.
I was going to ask you what someone should do if they can't make it on Saturday, but you had the foresight to answer that question before I could even.
well, I
ask
appreciate
it.
that I can read your mind. It's
Thank you.
that
Thank you for answering my question.
that good. Yeah, that's it. Really, like anytime, it's available, and this is something that the police have been, really engaged with us on, and I believe they deserve a lot of credit for how committed they have been to these programs and trying to make a difference in their communities.
District Attorney Steele, I'd also like to thank you for your leadership on this, and please pass along my gratitude to your staff and members of law enforcement that are helping making this happen. I'm always amazed by the amount of drugs that are collected at these collection days, and it's a credit to you and your staff for promoting it. And obviously something's working well, but 92,000 pounds over the last 11 years is incredible. So I encourage all the members of the communities across Montgomery County to participate. And thanks again.
Thank you. I will pass that along. We have a police chiefs meeting in a couple of hours here today, and I should also give some credit on this work that is done. We try to do something that's eye-catching, and our communications director, Kate Delano, and Jill Neal, who is one of our paralegals, puts these together, and they come up with creative ones each time, sometimes a movie theme and those things, and they do a great job. So I'm very proud of our staff, and I appreciate your acknowledgement of the work that they do that's going into this. So, all right, thank
Good
you.
luck.
Kelly, what do I do? Just, okay, I'm going to get out of the way.
Don't touch anything. That's what you should do. All right, we have an exciting announcement about the 9/11 Memorial Trail. Mr. Hartman.
Thank you, and good morning. Okay, I am going to share my screen. Okay, can everybody see my screen and hear me okay?
We can see your screen. You're a little quiet.
Yeah, you're a little
but-
low, Bill.
Okay. I'll speak up as best I can here. Well, good morning again, and yes, this is a very exciting initiative that I'm going to describe today. I'm going to provide a brief report and an update on this multi-state trail initiative known as the 9/11 National Memorial Trail. You are looking at a plan right now showing the current alignment of the 9/11 Memorial Trail. The idea behind this trail was literally forged in the days following the 9/11 attacks and has been under study and development for the past 2 decades. The initial vision for the trail was to create an active memorial honoring those who gave their lives upholding America's values of freedom and democracy during and following the 9/11 attacks. This vision was further refined in 2002 to develop a trail and greenway that connects the 3 9/11 sites at the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and the Flight 93 site near Shanksville, PA. And as you can see on this map that we're looking at today, you can see those 3 sites. The World Trade Center site in New York, the Flight 93 crash site in Somerset County in Pennsylvania, and then, of course, the 9/11 Pentagon Memorial in Arlington, Virginia. So during the past 2 decades, a great deal of work has taken place with respect to this initiative. And I'm not going to go into tremendous detail here, but some of the key things that happened include studying a potential trail alignment, refining that, not only locally, but statewide. And when you look at this map, you can see that this is a multi-state initiative. Numerous partnerships and alliances were forged between and among local governments, the state governments, the federal government, numerous nonprofits, trail groups. It's a wide array of groups that have participated in this process and this effort. Right-of-way was acquired as needed throughout the various areas to help make the trail work. And of course, like any initiative like this, funds were raised and sought to make it a reality. So today, the trail that you're looking at on this plan is 1,300 miles long. 55% of it is off-road, and those are the areas that are shown in green on this map. And 45% of it is on-road trail, which is shown in red. The trail itself, as you can see, crosses through 6 states: New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia. And it includes not just local trails, but also major trail corridors like the East Coast Greenway that runs up the East Coast of the northeastern United States, as well as the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal National Historic Park, which, as many of you know, runs from the DC area all the way up through Cumberland Gap. More locally, as you can see on this slide, the 9/11 trail passes directly through Montgomery County. At its northern extent, where it enters from Bucks, the trail utilizes the existing 202 trail and comes south from there to Welsh Road. And from there, it moves on road, and that's the area that's shown in red, primarily using DeKalb Pike, Skippack Pike, North Trooper Road, and Egypt Road, until it jumps off-road again with its connection to the Audubon Loop Trail down in this area right here, and then ultimately to the Schuylkill River Trail near Oaks. And from there, it runs east along this alignment to Philadelphia, where it meets the East Coast Greenway down in this area right here in Philadelphia, and runs south to Baltimore and ultimately the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia. So all told, approximately 30 miles of the 9/11 trail runs through Montgomery County. And going forward, we plan to work with the 9/11 Trail Alliance to move as much of the 9/11 trail to off-road county trails as opposed to on-road trails, such as the Power Line Trail and the Cross County Trail. As we further develop those county trails, we will work with the Alliance to get the 9/11 trail into as many off-road locations as possible. The presence of the 9/11 trail in Montgomery County is important in a number of ways. Obviously and symbolically, the trail ties the county to this broader recognition of the people lost on 9/11 and the resilience and perseverance of our country. More practically speaking, the trail will bring new visitors to the county who will be exposed to and engaged with the great people who live here and the assets that exist in the county. And it will also continue to strengthen a long partnership with the county and the development of the trail. So most significantly and very recently, a very important milestone was achieved literally just a week ago on October 13th, when President Biden signed HR 2278 into law. This law was passed unanimously in both the U.S. House and the U.S. Senate, which is quite an accomplishment and a testament to the bipartisan nature of this project. HR 2278 designates the trail route, now known officially as the September 11th National Memorial Trail, which links, as I described earlier, the 3 9/11 memorial sites in New York, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. And the specifics of the legislation specifically state that the September 11th National Memorial Trail has three core purposes. Number one, it provides a tribute to the family members and loved ones who were victims of the attacks, including first responders. It serves as a trail of remembrance to honor the fallen in a tangible way that keeps their memories alive and reaffirms the exceptionalism of our country. And lastly, it celebrates our nation's resilience and perseverance since the attacks on 9/11. So in terms of the significance of this legislation at the federal level, the key thing is it offers an additional level of support through the National Park Service. The National Park Service is going to serve as the administrator of this trail, and that will enable the Department of the Interior to assist in further developing the trail route, signage so that it's consistent along the entirety of the route, interpretive guides, and educational materials. So it's not taking the effort to continue working on the trail and getting as much of it off-road away from the nonprofits and local entities. Those things will continue to happen. But what now is in place is this administration and power and resources of the National Park Service and the Department of the Interior to assist in these efforts to continue moving this trail forward. Longer term benefits and impacts include, regionally, it's expected that this trail will spark economic development along its route in the various communities that it passes through. And obviously, it's going to provide a really valuable regional recreational resource to 6 states and numerous communities through which it will pass. And going forward, the September 11th National Memorial Trail Alliance, which is the main nonprofit which has been pushing this effort forward for 2 decades, will continue to work, as I said earlier, with key partners and stakeholders to continue developing as much of the trail off-road as possible and educating the public about this significant multi-state trail asset. And before I wrap up, I just wanted to publicly acknowledge the 2 people who were really instrumental in getting this project from an idea to this most recent legislation. A gentleman by the name of David Brinkley was the founder of the nonprofit and is a current president emeritus of the 9/11 Trail Alliance. And the board chair, Andy Hamilton, was also instrumental in advocating for this project and getting it over the finish line. And I imagine, given the passion of both of these individuals, they will continue to stay involved and continue to move forward their ideas and initiatives related to the trail. And of course, in addition to Andy Hamilton and David Brinkley, numerous individuals locally, state and local governments, nonprofits, all contributed, trail planners, all contributed to making this project a reality. So they should all receive recognition when possible, but I just wanted to point out those 2 individuals who were certainly key to getting this over the finish line. So with that, I'll wrap up. I'm happy to answer questions that I can to the extent I can, given that I wasn't integrally involved in this project, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Hartman. That was really a great summary of this wonderful trail, and just so proud that we have a substantial piece of it right here in Montgomery County, and we look forward to continuing to prioritize work on that. Do you have any?
Yep, thank you for your presentation, Mr. Hartman.
Mr. Hartman, thank you as well. I learned a lot from that presentation. I appreciate the update.
All right,
You're very
take
welcome.
care.
Thank you. You too.
All right, we have a number of resolutions this morning. The first, Mr. France, is an authorization of municipal planning assistance contracts for Upper Dublin and Springfield Townships.
Sorry.
I actually don't have a PowerPoint, so I can speak if that's all right.
Okay.
It's the next one. Yes, so we have authorization to approve planning assistance contracts with 2 of our municipalities. These are renewals, and they are our typical 3-year contracts with Upper Dublin Township and Springfield Township. As with all community planning assistance contracts, we subsidize the total cost by 50%, providing one of the best deals in Montgomery County for planning in our municipalities. We have 35 municipalities currently under contract with a similar arrangement. In Upper Dublin Township, just to let you know, we are going to be involved with flexible assistance for streetscape design, currently wrapping up the Fort Washington streetscape design plan, doing ordinance writing and other staff-directed projects, as well as general planning and flexible assistance. That contract actually is backdated. It began on July 1st of this year through June 30th of 2024, and the total cost is $51,408. The cost to the municipality is $25,704. The other contract for Springfield Township is for updating their saldo, updating their trail plan, and also revising their comprehensive plan and zoning code, in addition to flexible assistance and general services. That contract will run from January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2024 at a total cost of $81,354, with the municipal portion being $40,677. The MCPC Montgomery County Planning Commission Board recommended this authorization at their October 13th board meeting, and it's before you now.
Thank you. I will move that the Montgomery County Commissioners hereby approve the contracts for municipal planning assistance outlined below, and that the proper county officials are hereby authorized and directed to execute the same. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Lawrence. Any board comments? Bless you. Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Are there any negative votes? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Edmond, approval of awards for funding through the Montgomery County Transportation Program.
Today. All right.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, staff. Thank you for having us here today. Before you this morning are the recommendations for the 2021 round of the County Transportation Program. These are the awards that we've had a steering committee look through and score and evaluate, and so we want to bring that to you this morning for your consideration for approval. So before we get into what those awards are, just a couple of quick slides for you and for the audience and for the public who may be watching about what the program is and what it tries to accomplish. So again, the overarching goals of this program established back in 2017 when the commissioners wanted it to exist and to create it. Is to basically do four things: to distribute this registration revenue. It's the $5 vehicle registration revenue that the county gets every time you register your car with PennDOT every year. So we wanted to make sure that it was equitably distributed around the county. We wanted to fund specific projects. We wanted to increase the overall investment in transportation, and we wanted to meet the goals of our county comprehensive plan, Montco 2040. So, quick overview, like I said, it's the $5 vehicle registration revenue that we get here. This program is shown in the county capital budget. That's a screen capture. It's highlighted. It exists. It's a real thing. We want to emphasize, though, that 1/3 of our municipalities, about 21, contain no county-owned roads or bridges, but yet our municipality owns themselves all those miles of roads, all those bridges, all those signals. So they have needs. They don't necessarily have county-owned roads and bridges within their boundaries. And so when this money is raised, how do we make sure that everyone is on an equal footing to get a piece of this back to their communities? Because that's the point. And just to underscore the issue with transportation funding, every municipality, including the county, gets money from PennDOT every year, the gas tax, basically. A lot of it goes to PennDOT, but a piece of it comes back to all 5,000 or so municipalities and 67 counties in the state. So none of us are in any different boat than anywhere else. But that payment is not a lot, and it actually has gone down in 2021. You can see it's now hovering at $334,000. It's down by 23 grand, and that's been declining every year for the last couple of years. So that's why it's important that we have this revenue and that we give a piece of it back to our communities. So just like last year, the 2021 round, $1 million in the capital budget. It's only open to our municipalities. We only fund construction because we want to see things get done. There's a maximum award of 500 grand, and we have a local match situation here where we try to make it easy for smaller municipalities, especially boroughs that don't have big budgets, to be able to apply for, modest, decent projects and not have to put a ton of money out. And if you're a bigger municipality, like a township or a wealthier area, and you have more resources, we'll match stuff above and beyond that 200,000, but it's at a different rates. Again, trying to make sure that everyone has a chance to get something from this program. So eligibility, again, this is what we fund through the program: road construction and repair, traffic signs, traffic signals. That's important. Our municipalities own all of the signals under state law. It's not owned by PennDOT, not owned by the county. Our municipalities have that sole responsibility. Crosswalk markings and curb ramps for pedestrians, sidewalks and trails, but only if it's within the public right-of-way. This is not a trail program. This is a road program. The money does come from drivers, but there is a way to get these pedestrian improvements in certain circumstances. And of course, street lighting is also eligible. So focus areas here: Montco 2040, Bike Montco, county assets. If a project has something that intersects with those three items, then we give special consideration to them for doing the things that we want in our plan. So now we get to the evaluation. This is important, right? So we scored the project basically on 5 things. There's 4 bullet points. One of them has 2 parts to it. But we looked at the impact to our residents, whether or not, these projects they're proposing are in either our county plan or their local plans, because again, we want to have a connection with good planning. Close to being starting construction, right? We don't want to fund something that's going to take 10 years to build. And that it has strong financial support, that our municipalities know that they have to have some skin in the game too, and that they're actually doing so. Who evaluated the projects? We had a 13-person review committee. It consisted of the 3rd bullet point there, so county staff, planning commission staff, but we also had some of our appointed officials in the county, members of our planning commission board, members of our transportation authority board. All those together, it was 13 people. And of course, we took all the project to PennDOT just to review for compliance. We don't want to have any fatal flaws here after you as a commissioners board awards anything. So the timeline, just to underscore this, and we'll get quickly into the projects, just to give you an overview. We gave our municipalities plenty of time to think about what they wanted to do and then to put their application together. Really, it's 4 months total: April, May, June, and July to do all of that. We did the evaluation here in August and September, and then here we are in October for the award. So this is an important map. This shows where our 8 projects are throughout the county. So you can see there are a couple in the North Penn area, a couple in the eastern part of the county, some down there along the 422 corridor, there Schwenksville in the central perk. So they're scattered all about the region here in Montco. And so really quickly, so Hatboro was the first of our recommended awards. You can kind of see there on the upper right, there is a school, Crooked Billet Elementary School, and it's a little bit hard to get across Jacksonville Road. And so these are some pedestrian improvements that will enable a safe signalized crossing, particularly for school children on the eastern end of Hatboro Borough to get to school. In Hatfield, this is right on Main Street. It's a crossing of the Liberty Bell Trail, which is not only a circuit trail, but it's also in our county comprehensive plan as part of this bigger network in our county. And so this would, again, also put the same types of things in: pedestrian signals, stripe it, and make it a safe part. So this is in some ways a trail and road investment, but an important trail in our network. Narberth really has a very innovative project that we would like to award. This is to do green stormwater bump outs along a borough-owned street right behind Haverford Avenue, which is their main street, basically. And so this is green infrastructure. It's simple, it's easy, it's effective. We don't have anything this interesting in the county. So this would be a really innovative one if you were to award it. North Wales is another pedestrian type of crossing. This is a good example of a borough working with their neighboring township so that residents in both can benefit. Center Street, is a major pedestrian connection there on the south end of the borough. And there is an existing trail that's just off your screen that connects to Parkside Place Park. That's also where the Norgwin Pool is. And so this would facilitate safe pedestrian access along Center Street there, so you can get between the town and all these other things. And that area of North Wales, despite being a borough, does not have a lot of sidewalks. Royersford would be a pedestrian crossing at 6th and Main Street, connecting both sides of Royersford Borough there. So it would be a rapid flashing beacon, pavement striping. They've been coming back and forth to various grant programs to try to make safer crossings along Main Street in these areas where Main Street's through the neighborhood and they don't really have any street lights to facilitate people getting across without getting hit. Schwenksville is a new award winner. If the commissioners, if you guys award these grants today, they haven't gotten one before, and so this would be a modernization and upgrade of a big signal through their town at Main Street, Game Farm, and Park. They have about, I believe, 3 signals or 4 signals through their town, and they're all very important to them. This one's really old, really out of date, so this would bring it up to speed and make it more adaptive for drivers who are going through Schwenksville. And then finally, Upper Dublin, they want to add a signal at Virginia Drive and Camp Hill Road, right in the middle of their, what used to call the Fort Washington Office Park. And so that's something that they've been eyeing for years to try to calm traffic and also allow for safe turns onto Camp Hill Drive, Camp Hill Road. Yes, and one more, Upper Providence. This would be a on-road trail along Troutman-Ashenfelter roads. Basically a way to, they're trying to connect the Schuylkill River Trail and the Perkiomen Trail through their township using a variety of on-road and off-road means. And 422 is the real pinch point. And so this will put a trail in excess right-of-way next to the road that would be able to get you underneath 422 and start to make those tough connections. So just want to wrap up here with a couple of fun facts for everyone, just to show commissioners that these awards just happen to be very diverse in a lot of ways, in a lot of good ways. So like we said on that map, geographically diverse. Unusually speaking, 6 of the awardees would go to boroughs and 2 to townships. Usually we see that ratio reversed because our townships usually have burgeoning populations and more roads and some greater opportunities. But this time around, our top candidates were mostly boroughs. Half did not contain a county-owned road or bridge. Again, linking back to some of those goals of the program, one of the first slides. Over half have planning assistance contracts with the Planning Commission, so our county is working very closely with these municipalities already, which is a good sign. 3 of them are first-time awardees. Schwenksville was one of them. North Wales and Narberth are the other 2. And 23 of our 62 municipalities now, over 4 rounds, that's over 1/3 of our townships and boroughs, have received a CTP award. So we are definitely working to spread this money around throughout the county. And with that, I'll close. I'll put the website up there for anyone who might be watching virtually if they want to check this out. And we're happy to answer any questions. Let me also just add, Matt Popek and Rena Pinhas here from our staff, they worked very hard on doing the evaluation and the scoring and working our steering committee through all these different applications. So they're here to answer questions as well.
Thank you, Mr. Edmond. I will move that the proper county officials, in accordance with the authority conferred by law, subject to the approval of the county solicitor, are hereby authorized to enter into grant agreements with the appropriate municipal officials to fund the programs listed on the attached exhibits under the conditions specified for each. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Lawrence. Well, thanks to all of you for this great work. This is one of my favorite things that we do every year, to see these projects that our local communities just, pick as important to them and want to see better the transportation or biking or hiking or walking in their communities. So thanks for all your work, and definitely intend to support this. And I'm really pleased to see that not only does that $5 fee fund a whole lot of work on our roads and bridges, but it gets these more local projects done as well.
Matt, thanks for a comprehensive presentation as always. Matt and Rena, welcome, and thank you for all your hard work on scoring this and working with our volunteers, and please express our thanks to them as well. I always ask, so what are we doing for outreach to make sure that all of our townships and boroughs know about this and have the opportunity to apply?
Yeah, one of the things that we always do numerous times throughout the year, especially as we start to gear up in the early part of the year for the next round, is we send a lot of emails out to managers. We also go to Mankato whenever we can, and we stress this to all the people that we talk about. We mention it in various meetings where our staff is always meeting with folks from various municipalities, particularly their managers. And so we always try to say, hey, guys, I know it's February, but just a heads up. Don't forget the CTP is going to open up soon. So we're always promoting it by word of mouth, by special presentation, by emails, social media. We put things out on Twitter and Facebook as a planning commission all the time. We do the best we can.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Mr. Edmond.
You're welcome.
Okay. If there's no additional comments, we will move to a vote. Are there any negative votes? Okay, hearing none, motion carries. Thanks.
Thank you.
Everybody. All right, Mr. Bonner, authorization of a PICO Green Region Open Space Program grant application for the Green Lane Park Tree Revitalization Project.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Before you this morning is a resolution authorizing application for a grant that will fund work in Greenland Park, tree revitalization work in Greenland Park. The grant program is a partnership program between PICO and the National Lands Organization, devoted to preserve, protect, and improve open space in southeastern Pennsylvania. If successful, our parks, trails, and historic sites staff would utilize these grant funds to pursue a program to revitalize and preserve the natural forest areas across Greenland Park. The application would be for the maximum of $10,000, which would necessitate a match of $10,000 from the county. The resolution authorizes us to apply with the understanding that we will comply with the match requirement. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I will move that the proper county officials, in accordance with the authority conferred by law, subject to the approval of the county solicitor, are hereby authorized to submit a grant application to the PICO Green Region Open Space Program for $10,000 to undertake the Green Lane Park Tree Revitalization Project and to contribute a match of $10,000 in cash. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Lawrence. Any board comment? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Are there any negative votes? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you. All right, Mr. Stein, Hurricane Ida disaster.
Yes. As you know, back on September 2nd, the commissioners declared a disaster declaration for Ida. As you know, we continue to deal with the fallout from that storm in our attempts to help individuals that were negatively impacted by that storm. Our declarations last for 60 days. That 60 days will be up as of October 31st, necessitating that we would extend the declaration if we intend to continue to be able to have the flexibility to assist as we have been. As we've noted, having this declaration in place not only allows us to bypass certain amounts of red tape in order to direct assistance more quickly where it is needed, it also allows us to submit for reimbursement should become available from the state and federal governments. And Commissioner Chair, I'll also note that in the first now, therefore, I believe it should be at the last line hereby declare the continuing existence of a disaster emergency.
Thank you, Mr. Stein. All right, I will move that the undersigned commissioners of Montgomery County, pursuant to the provisions of Section 7501 of the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Services Code as amended, do hereby declare the continuing existence of a disaster emergency in Montgomery County. Be it further resolved that we direct the Montgomery County Department of Public Safety to coordinate the activities of the emergency response, to take all appropriate action needed to alleviate the effects of this disaster, to aid in the restoration of essential public services, and to take any other emergency response action deemed necessary to respond to this disaster emergency. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Lawrence. Any board comment? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Are there any negative votes? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Stein. All right, next we move to an appointment to the Montgomery County Community College. I will move to appoint Mr. Donald Lyons to the Montgomery County Community College Board of Trustees to serve a term that begins immediately and expires on October the 21st, 2027, and to serve at the pleasure of the county commissioners and in accordance with the current duly adopted bylaws. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Lawrence. Any board comment?
I request a roll call vote, please.
Okay. Do you have any comment?
No.
All right. Any other comment? No. Okay. Ms. Washington?
Chair Arkoosh,
Aye.
Vice Chair Lawrence,
Aye.
Commissioner Gale.
Opposed?
All right, motion carries. All right, next is a commissioner's reappointment to the Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority, known as Septa. I will move that Commissioner Ken Lawrence Jr. be reappointed as a board member to the Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority for a term to begin immediately and to expire on October the 21st, 2026, and to serve at the pleasure of the county commissioners and in accordance with the current duly adopted bylaws. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Lawrence. Any board comment?
Roll call vote, please.
Then we will move to a vote. Ms. Washington?
Chair Arkoosh,
Aye.
Vice Chair Lawrence,
Aye.
Commissioner Gale.
Opposed?
All right, motion carries. Ms. Purdue, personnel?
Good morning, Commissioners. You should have in front of you the final copy of the Commissioners' Department's personnel list. It is a 4-page document dated Wednesday, October 20th, 2021, with a timestamp of 12 p.m. All positions have been reviewed and accounted for and are presented for consideration.
Thank you, Ms. Purdue. I will move to approve the October 21st, 2021 personnel presentation as given by Director of Human Resources, Ms. Donna Purdue, and to authorize the proper county officials to execute the same. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Lawrence. Any board comment? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Are there any negative votes? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you. All right, Ms. O'Malley. Advertisements of bids and RFPs.
Yes. There's a bid on behalf of Assets and Infrastructure for fencing services. The successful responder will provide fencing for a portion of the Schuylkill River Trail. Contract will be awarded to the lowest responsible bidder. 2, a bid on behalf of Health and Human Services for cleaning services. The successful responder will provide deep cleaning services for the Office of Public Health vaccination sites. Contract will be awarded to the lowest responsible bidder. 3, bid on behalf of Public Safety for demolition services. The successful bidder will provide demolition and removal of the 300-foot tower at the Emergency Operating Center in Eagleville. Contract will be awarded to the lowest responsible bidder. 4, RFP on behalf of Health and Human Services for a mental health crisis consultant. The successful responder will provide a detailed enhancement plan for the Montgomery County Mental Health Crisis Response System by utilizing local data and information, as well as national best practices, models, and research. Contract will be awarded to the highest-rated responder. 5, RFP on behalf of Health and Human Services for support services. The successful responder will provide comprehensive support services to victims of domestic violence, including legal and medical aid, shelters, transitional housing, and counseling located within Montgomery County. Contract will be awarded to the highest-rated responder. 6, RFP on behalf of Health and Human Services for a Child Advocacy Center. The successful responder will provide children and families with healing and justice in a trustworthy setting. Advocacy services will bring together doctors, nurses, prosecutors, social workers, and police in order to provide a unique and essential program of treatment and healing for child victims while working to hold offenders accountable. Contract will be awarded to the highest-rated responder. All bids and RFPs are available on the county's purchasing website at www.montcopa.org/purchasing.
Thank you, Ms. O'Malley. I will move to approve the preceding requests for the advertisement of bids and RFPs as described by the Deputy Chief Operating Officer, Ms. Barbara O'Malley, and to authorize the proper county officials to execute the same, subject to the approval of the county solicitor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Lawrence. Any board comment? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Are there any negative votes? Hearing none, motion carries. Next, awards of contract for the county.
1, contract award, Assets and Infrastructure, Archives Building, multiple contractors, $8,349,707. Specification 6453 was downloaded by 139 firms with 21 submissions received. Contract provides general construction services for the construction of a new archives building at Eagleville campus. The following firms submitted the lowest responsive and responsible bids. Magnum Incorporated of Warminster, PA, General Construction Services, $6,495,000. Phillips Brothers Electrical of Glenmore, PA, Electrical Construction Services, $672,000. JBN Mechanical Incorporated of Nazareth, PA, Plumbing Construction Services, $256,000. High-Tech HVAC of Southampton, PA, Mechanical Construction Services, $746,757. Oliver Fire Protection and Security of King of Prussia, PA, Fire Protection Construction Services, $179,950. 2, contract award, Assets and Infrastructure, Construction. Richard E. Pearson Construction Company Incorporated of Piles Grove, New Jersey, $1,385,630.45. Contract provides for the replacement of County Bridge number 162, Stump Road over Little Neshaminy Creek in Montgomery Township. Specification 6455 was viewed by 69 providers with 5 responses received. Contract is awarded to the lowest responsible bidder. Contract award, Assets and Infrastructure, Richard E. Pearson Construction Company Incorporated of Pile Grove, New Jersey, $747,239.90. Contract provides for the replacement of County Bridge Number 163, Lutheran Bridge Road over Minister Creek in New Hanover Township. Specification 6456 was viewed by 65 providers with 5 responses received. Contract is awarded to the lowest responsible bidder. 4, contract award District Courts Security System, Integrated Security Systems Incorporated of Harleysville, PA, $394,465. Contract provides the required replacement of the current class security notification system with an Alertus security system for the 30 district court offices located throughout Montgomery County. System and installation services are available through a PA CoStarz contract. 5, contract award District Courts postage machines, FP Mailing Solutions of Addison, Illinois, $100,000. Contract provides the rental of postage machines for the district courts. Machines are available through PA Department of General Services contract. Contract is valid through 12/31/2026. 6, contract award Information and Technology Solutions, Enterprise Licensing, CDW Government of Chicago, Illinois, $2,170,803.51. Contract provides licensing of all Microsoft products used throughout the county. Contract period is valid for a 1-year term beginning 11/1/2021 through 10/31/2022. Licensing is available through a Sourcewell cooperative contract. 7, contract award Information and Technology Solutions software licenses, CDW Government of Chicago, Illinois, $36,506.74. Contract provides additional Dynamics 365 and Visual Studio software development licenses for use in various county departments. Software is available through a PA CoStarz contract. 8, contract award Public Safety Hardware, Dell Incorporated of Round Rock, Texas, $334,722.04. Contract provides CAD hardware for the off-site 911 backup center. Hardware is available through a PA CoStarz contract. 9, contract award Public Safety Consultant, Johnson Meerman Thompson Incorporated, Hunt Valley, Maryland, $193,000. Contract provides Phase 3 consultant services to complete the creation of a GIS database that will include NENA-compliant address points and street center lines, finalize the county's addressing guidelines and best practice document, and finalize the web tools used for address validation. RFP 2124 was viewed by 63 firms with 2 responses received. Contract is awarded to the highest rated responder. 10, contract rescind and reaward bulk salt, Cargill Incorporated of North Olmsted, Ohio, $200,000. Original contract awarded the estimated purchase of bulk salt for use on county roads to Riverside Construction of Fairless Hills, PA. Renewed PA state contract only allows for Cargill Incorporated to service Montgomery County. Contract is reawarded to Cargill Incorporated. 2021-2022 pricing from Cargill Incorporated is $61.88 a ton. 11, contract amendment Assets and Infrastructure Engineering, Gannett Plumbing Incorporated of Philadelphia, PA, no cost time extension. Original contract provided an engineering firm to perform the required engineering, environmental permitting, and construction consultation for the rehabilitation of Old Nefa Road over Swamp Creek in Upper Frederick Township. Amendment allows a no-cost time extension of the contract through 10/17/2022 while the bridge restoration continues. 12, contract amendment Planning Commission Signage, Reed Sign Company LLC of Pennsburg, PA, $3,480. Original contract provided the materials, manufacturing, and delivery of 60 double-sided signs and posts for use on preserved farms in Montgomery County. Amendment provides for an increase in cost of $58 per sign due to elevated costs for aluminum. 13, 1 contract, 9 contract renewals, and 6 amendments for Health and Human Services. Providers and services are listed at the end of the agenda and in the back of the room.
Thank you. I will move to approve the preceding awards of contract as described by the Deputy Chief Operating Officer, Ms. Barbara O'Malley, and to authorize the proper county officials to execute the same, subject to the approval of the county solicitor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Lawrence. Any board comment?
I have comment.
Okay.
I will be opposing contract award number 1, which is the general construction services for the new archives building being constructed at the Eagleville campus. This contract is over $8.3 million, and I've been very outspoken on my opinion that the county's operating budget contains wasteful spending as well as the county's capital budget, which contains an extremely high amount of wasteful spending. And I've mentioned this due to the Justice Center construction project in Norristown, the warehouse project for Public Safety Department at the Eagleville campus, as well as the coroner's space that's being constructed at the Eagleville campus, and now the archives building at the Eaglesville campus. And this cost will only increase. This is general construction services, but once we do the interior fit out and add shelving and everything else, the cost will go even higher. And due to the fact that the property owners in this county are paying higher taxes this year, I can't justify the expense. So we'll need a roll call vote on contract award number 1, if you can amend your motion.
All right, I will withdraw the preceding motion, and I will move to approve the preceding awards number 2 through 13, as described by the Deputy Chief Operating Officer, Ms. Barbara O'Malley, and to authorize the proper county officials to execute the same, subject to the approval of the county solicitor. Is there a second?
You gonna second
You
it?
said 2 to 13.
Yeah, 2 to 13.
So why don't you second it? She's taking your amendment. You don't want a second?
No, you can second it.
Second.
All right, any board comment? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Are there any negative votes? Hearing none, motion carries. I will now move that we approve award of contract number 1, which is for the archives building, as described by the Deputy Chief Operating Officer, Ms. Barbara O'Malley, and to authorize the proper county officials to execute the same, subject to the approval of the county solicitor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Lawrence. Any additional board comment? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Are there any negative votes? Hearing none, motion carries. All right, Ms. O'Malley, awards of contract for emergency procurement for Hurricane Ida.
Just note for the record that I was a no vote on that.
You didn't vote.
Well, there was no roll call vote.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was my fault. Yep, sorry. Let's go back. Ms. Washington.
Chair Arkoosh,
Aye.
Vice Chair Lawrence,
Aye.
Commissioner Gale.
Opposed.
Okay, motion carries.
You gotta pay attention.
Yeah.
Emergency procurement, 1, services, assets and infrastructure, trail and towpath repairs, Flyway Excavating Incorporated of Mount Joy, PA, $144,864. Contract provides necessary repairs to the Schuylkill East Trail and Towpath Trail damaged during Hurricane Ida. 2, services, assets and infrastructure, roof repair, Palomino Roofing Company, LLC of Philadelphia, PA, not to exceed $100,000. Contract provides roof repairs at the Willow Grove Annex damaged during Hurricane Ida. 3, services, assets and infrastructure, McLaughlin Spray Foam Insulation Incorporated of Chalfont, PA, $29,200. Contract provides for the replacement of damaged insulation at the Hill Road Workshop Facility in Green Lane Park damaged during Hurricane Ida. 4, services, Health and Human Services, TBD Now LLC of Lansdale, PA. Contract provides consulting services to coordinate the Health and Human Services disaster response for Montgomery County residents due to Hurricane Ida. Rate is $125 per hour. Contract is for a period of 6 months with an optional 6-month renewal term. 5, services, Health and Human Services, multiple providers. Contracts provide case management services as needed for Montgomery County residents affected by Hurricane Ida. Annual rate per provider is $150,000. Daily rates are $12 per household as per services rendered. Providers are Acclamo of Norristown, PA, Carson Valley Children's Aid of Flowertown, PA, Montgomery County OIC of Norristown, PA, and CADCOM of Norristown, PA. 6, services, Health and Human Services, multiple providers. Contracts provide food service as needed for Montgomery County residents affected by Hurricane Ida. Food will be provided at a rate of $35 per person per day. Providers are Share Food Program of Norristown, PA, YWCA Tri-County Area of Pottstown, PA, Catholic Social Services of Norristown, PA. 7, services, Health and Human Services, Public Health Management Corporation, Philadelphia, PA, not to exceed $193,242.12. Contract provides assistance with grant application, case management program development, housing coordination, and language services for Montgomery County residents affected by Hurricane Ida. Provider will operate under the direction of Health and Human Services staff and with contracted providers. Services will be provided for 6 months with a 6-month optional renewal term. 8, services amendment, Health and Human Services, Metropolitan Food Incorporated doing business as Driscoll Foods of Wayne, New Jersey, $1 million. Original contract awarded funds for distribution to Montgomery County food pantries via the Montco Anti-Hunger Network of Ambler, PA. Amendment reallocates funds to the vendor providing food to be delivered directly to the food pantries.
All right, thank you, Ms. O'Malley. I will move to approve the preceding awards of contract as described by the Deputy Chief Operating Officer, Ms. Barbara O'Malley, and to authorize the proper county officials to execute the same, subject to the approval of the county solicitor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Lawrence. Any board comment? Just one point of clarification, Ms. O'Malley. All of these funds are being reimbursed, correct, through
The county has received the
FEMA
public
or-
standards FEMA declaration, and we will be pursuing full reimbursement for all these services.
Thank you. All right, hearing no additional comments, we'll move to a vote. Are there any negative votes? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you. Any closing commissioner comments? Then I will announce that we have an election board meeting on Thursday, October the 28th, 2021 at 12 p.m. And our next Board of Commissioners meeting is November the 4th, 2021. And I will move to adjourn the October 21st, 2021 meeting of the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Lawrence. Any board comment? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Any negative votes? Hearing none, meeting is adjourned. We'll convene Salary Board. Welcome Controller Sanchez. Good morning.
Morning.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do we have any public comment on Salary Board?
We'll check. No, we do not.
All right. Ms. Pardue.
Thank you. Good morning, members of Salary Board. You should have in front of you the final copy of the Salary Board list. It is a 4-page document dated Wednesday, October 20th, 2021, with a timestamp of 12 p.m. Of note, we have one retiree, Carl Schello, from the Controller's Office after 4 years. All positions have been reviewed and accounted for and are presented for Salary Board consideration.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the October 21st, 2021 Salary Board presentation as given by Director of Human Resources, Ms. Donna Pardue, and to authorize the proper county officials to execute the same?
So moved.
By Controller Sanchez.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Lawrence. Any board comment? All right, hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Are there any negative votes? Hearing none, motion carries. Also, just want to acknowledge today that our Director of Health and Human Services, Ms. Tara Gaudan, is leaving us for an opportunity in another state. And just want to really thank her for her service over the last several years. She came in during a time when our Health and Human Services Department was very much at the beginning of their consolidation into one department. And she has been just a true leader in moving that process forward. I will miss her radiant smile and her incredibly supportive and positive email communications to her whole team. It's really been a pleasure to work with her, and we certainly wish her well. All right. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn the October 21st, 2021 meeting of the Montgomery County Salary Board.
So moved.
Moved by Controller Sanchez. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Lawrence. Any board comments? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Are there any negative votes? Hearing none, meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.